Good evening, guys. Stephen here after Manchester City 3-1 win over Club Brugge KV in the Champions League. We are through to the knockout stages. Not the knockout stages, actually. The playoffs. I've only just got back from the game, hence why the video is a little bit late. It was good fun. I enjoyed it. Went with my dad tonight. I wanted to go watch the game. And I had a good time. I really did enjoy it. Not quite as enjoying the opponents that City have got. We've got Real Madrid or Bayern Munich. All the effort, all the energy for absolutely nothing, eh? You know, what is even the point? We'll get onto that a little bit of information very, very soon. Obviously, I'll go through the story of that game. Also say hello to everyone in the chat. Hello to Dan, to Jordan, to Asian, to Rods, Jake, Me Gates the World, and Rolando there as well. It's good to see you guys in the chat. Please give the video a like. Please subscribe if you are new. It's good to know what you guys think of the game. I did enjoy it. I know there was sort of adversity in the first half and we weren't anywhere near our best. I don't really mind it. I don't mind City like making mistakes in the first half as long as you fix them, you know? It's one of those things where, you know, ultimately a game is of two halves. It's a cliche, but it's sort of true. And I think Guardiola fixed the mistakes of the first half. I understand why he made them, by the way, for what it's worth. I think Guardiola was very much trying to plan for the upcoming bunch of fixtures. And he sort of did a treble throwback, but it just didn't work at all. Of course, the first half was incredibly dull, exceptionally dull. Barely anything happened until, of course, they went and scored, which was immensely painful. Let me bring up the stats of the first half for us. It was not a good first half of football at all. It was bad, actually. I would say it was borderline shit. That's the best word you can use for it. Or uninspired, conservative, created very little. And yeah, just utterly uninspiring. So it was very much on us in that first half. I'll show you the stats of the first half there. We had all the ball, but there we go. Had all the ball. But the only big chance of that first half came to Bruges and they scored that. So there we go. 70% possession and absolutely no decent chances created whatsoever. It was just it was bad. It was really bad. The second half, here's the stats for the second half on screen for you there. So there you go. There we go. Look at that. 4 big chances created. We get the goals that we deserve. 11 shots to their 5, while also having 79% possession. So we get close to 80% possession, and we win comfortably and create big chances when we changed it around. And that ultimately was all that mattered. I'll show you how we sort of lined up beforehand. Obviously, this is how we lined up at the start of the game. You had Ederson in goal, Nunes, Stones, Akanji, Vardy, Kovacic, Gundo, Foden, Silva, De Bruyne, Haaland. And that was essentially the shape of the game right there. In the first half, we just went back to the treble thing. Stones stepped into midfield. Gundogan went a bit further forward. I'll build it over here now. This is not quite right. Let me just get the team right. No, this was the shape of the game, but it wasn't how I thought it was going to be. That's how I thought they'd line up, but we went much more conservative. Essentially, it was this. Phil did go out wide. Bernardo was out here instead. Stones came up here alongside Kovacic. Gundo went to there. KDB went to there. It was sort of like that, basically. But these guys stayed pretty far back. Josko with Stones playing pretty far forward and Kovacic. These didn't really get forward very much at all. It was essentially the treble era of Manchester City. But for Nunes, see Kyle Walker, which obviously better. You see Diaz, or you see Ake here or whatever. It would have been in the treble final. It was a Kanji right back instead of Kyle Walker. You had Ake over here. You had Stones. You had Diaz. You had Rodri instead of Kovacic. You had these two guys were 2 years younger. You had Grealish, who was suited that role better than Phil suits that role. Yeah, and you had Bernardo Silva, who's 2 years younger. So basically, we went back to the treble formation, and I understand why Guardiola did it. I get it. I absolutely understand why he did it. But it just didn't work whatsoever. Simply because we just weren't versed in this. There was no creativity whatsoever at all. Absolutely zero creativity. Silva had nothing out here. Phil kept trying. I was sat at the side of Phil, and he kept trying to get down his man. He just didn't have the pace to get past him. He's not a winger anymore, Phil. A lot of that's gone out of his game. He just couldn't do it. Maybe he would be eventually, but you'd have to play a lot of games to get there. The obvious change was always Savinho on for someone. And I said at half-time as well to my dad, it's got to be Gundo. I went through the plays. It has to be Gundo. And all he essentially did was this. He just did this. Savinho went there. He went there. He went there. And he also said that Nunes could get a bit further up. And he did. Nunes went a bit further up the pitch when he wanted to. Silva dropped back a little bit deeper when Nunes went forward, which was very smart, essentially like we did the other day. And we saw a sort of repeat, a quasi-repeat, where Josko was getting forward too, and everyone was pushing forward. So we saw what we saw against Chelsea, basically, when Nunes and Josko got a chance to go forward. And it worked. It was that easy. Savinho was absolutely excellent, by the way. So what I talk about Savinho, that is a superstar in the making there, Savinho. Only 20 years old and that good already. What an impact. Of course, the pass for the goal that put us in front, of course. I know it was a sort of own goal for Guardiola, but then, of course, the goal for the third. Beautiful stuff, but it was more the energy and the impetus that he brought to this Manchester City side, beating his fullback, running, creative, drifting inside. Just really, really good. Excellent. John Stones as well. John Stones is so good, man. Someone on the chat, a woman watch along, said the other week, John Stones is like that classic vintage car you've got that you know you can't really drive to a long stretch. I'm sort of paraphrasing a bit. You can't drive it long journeys because you know it'll break down. But every now and then on a Sunday, you get it out and it purrs anyway. And it just feels so good when you get the keys in ignition. John Stones strolled around that pitch. The aura that man has, absolutely remarkable. He's a Champions League legend for Manchester City. That Champions League final performance is still an all-timer. Like, it was unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. And of course, the assist. Something we've been missing, the assist for the Savinho goal. It felt so nice seeing those diagonals to the back post. We've done it a couple of times in recent games, but that is what Rodri absolutely excels at. And a man who was sat 20 metres to my left tonight in the game, Fernandinho, I saw him in the stands. He excelled at that too. And we've not got much of that when Fernandinho and Rodri haven't been there. Gundo can do it a little bit, but doesn't do it much these days. But Stones played perfectly. That pass to Savinho, it was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, you know. Going through the rest of the team, got to give Kovacic credit. A bit sloppy in the first half, but he tucked his shirt in and he took the impetus and scored a wonderful goal. Really nice goal. I know the defense parted like the bloody red sea, the sea for Moses, but it was a really nice run. He drove through the heart of the defence, and the finish, he looked up, you can see the shot from behind with the replay. He looks up and he places it in the bottom corner. It's a beautiful goal, it really is. And City deserved that, you know. We deserved it in the second half. We were just much better. I saw a few people being quite negative. We don't even deserve to go through, blah, blah, blah. No, if you go through, you deserve to go through. I know you want to hate on City when it's frustrating to watch, but don't get into that. If you go through, like, you can't say you don't deserve to go through after 45 minutes of a game. No. If you win it after 90 minutes, you deserve to go through. So as much as City drive me mad, I don't really buy into this whole, like, oh, we're a disgrace at halftime. Come on. You can say it was shite. I said it was shite at halftime when I tweeted it. But let's just wait until full time. I've never got too angry at half-time because I think teams and coaches have a right to rectify their mistakes. I understood the logic Guardiola wanting to lean on a reasonably familiar Champions League setup that saw him success, but I think he realised very quickly, well, half-time, that it didn't work. He changed it and it worked. It's fine to make mistakes as long as you tried to fix him, and he did, and it worked, and that's all that matters to me. So yeah, so that's where we're at. The game, look, I enjoyed it ultimately. The first half was poor, second half was fun. City do not know how to do it the easy way. They have to get this little mini cardiac arrest going, don't they? You know, City, well, they say a scare a day is good for you, keeps the heart young and healthy, and City are doing the very best there. People say it's making my heart dodgy. Actually, it's making our heart good. They're looking after us, City. So thank you very much, City. It was good fun. I mean, I still look at that team and still see flaws everywhere, you know. I can't wait to see the Marmoush back in the team. Hopefully we are going big on Cambiasso tonight. I'd really love that to get done. Guardiola has got a very brutally frank quote after the game, which sort of is terrifying if I'm being honest, because it's a real honest assessment of where Manchester City are right now. It does not read good at all, you know. Here's the quote from Guardiola. I know he made the sandwich and all that, but we'll see. Guardiola said, we're an old team. Kevin is 34, Ilkay 33, Mateo, and we don't have replacements, so they play a lot of minutes. That's why we're so grateful for the effort Gundo has done and cover, and of course Kevin to come back as quickly as possible, and that is the reality. That's why I'm a little bit scared to play these transitional teams against Newcastle, Liverpool, Arsenal, Villa, Brighton. They are miles away better than us. Ugh, that reads painful, doesn't it? Like Guardiola essentially saying all these sides are better than us on the transition, better in midfield than us, and they just are. And he's not even wrong. They are just miles better than us. Bruno, Guimaraes, Joe Linton, Tonali, the lot of them, Gordon, just miles better than transition. Gravenberch, Bosley, McAllister, Salah, Gakpo. Luis Diaz, miles better than us. Arsenal, with the physicality of Rice and Partey or Odegaard or whatever, miles better in the middle than us. Aston Villa, Morgan Rogers, Onana, miles better. Brighton, Balaba. Oh, it's obvious they are much better than us on the transition. We are going to struggle. So he's very much admitted that it's going to be difficult. And yes, he made the sandwich. So what's he complaining for? I don't think he's complaining. I think he's admitting that he made a mistake. And personally, I'd rather see him be frankly, brutally honest about this than just sit there and pretend everything's perfect. At least we at this point, if he's saying this publicly, by the way, people only tend to say a small part of what they actually mean publicly, because Guardiola's smart enough to know that. He's sending a message here, by the way, but if he's saying this publicly, I can imagine he's a lot more brutal behind the scenes. He's not going to come out and go, by the way, all these players are fucking washed. You might feel this a little bit, but he's never going to say that. He's going to go, thank you to Gundo, Kovacic, they're brilliant, I love him. But behind the scenes, he might be a lot more brutal. He might be like, these guys aren't good enough. I would presume he is being a lot more frank about where we are. So I know we haven't got the midfield signings yet, but I presume the reason we haven't got them in yet is because they want to do it right. They cannot make mistakes here. We cannot make mistakes in these next months of midfield signings, because the club's future, and I'm not being dramatic, the club's future for the next decade probably just hinges on it. Like, it really, truly does. And we have to get these midfield signings right. So I think this is going to be very hard to do. And I think the targets that we want, they might just be unattainable right now for very obvious reasons, because they might play for pretty good teams with pretty good, aims. So I think largely your central midfielders are the ones that are harder to sign, because your team is built around central midfielders. Probably a lot easier to sign an 18-year-old centre-back, or maybe even left-back, or, So, yeah, I don't know. I think that's the reality of it. So that's where we're at. Look, the game itself was good. The performance in the end was decent. The opponents, Bayern or Real Madrid. I'm going to do a poll in the chat. There we go. Who do you want? Who do you want? Real, Bayern, and then I'm going to put another option for you guys. The sweet release of death. There we go. Come on, let me know what you reckon. I'll just do the. I'm just gonna have to just quote tweet that, by the way. Join me live to answer this poll. Cheers. There we go. So who do you want? Let's have a look. So far, Bayern's winning. Real, the sweet release of death not far behind. Bayern, yeah. I mean, look, the thing is, I think Bayern might be a better side than Real Madrid this season, but I understand wanting Bayern. I get it, No, Pep made a mistake. He did. But I don't see the point. If someone makes a mistake, and then this is maybe where I'm different to some people, but I believe in people having a chance to rectify their mistakes. He got it wrong. Look, you can very easily see how Guardiola made this mistake. He's loyal to the people that he trusts. Got a lot going on personally. Maybe that loyalty extended into that. Maybe Guardiola's a little bit risk adverse to change right now for various reasons in his life. It happens. People make mistakes, but the only thing that matters is if the person makes the mistakes, acknowledge it, and then tries to fix it. And I think Guardiola has admitted he made a mistake. So yeah, I get it. And it's fine. Like, there's no point going, but why did you make a mistake? Because he's human, lads. Because he's human. Very late for me to be up. Mate, I'm always up at this time. I'm already doing housework at this time, pal. I've just got back from the game, so, But yeah, so currently buying 55%. The sweet release of death and Real Madrid currently tying. It's changing. It's changing. I actually thought Foden was much better in the second half, by the way. I don't really blame Foden for the first half. I think he looked very out of position. He was much better in the second half, much more involved. It's not Haaland's fault either. Haaland got bored. Did anyone see that spell around the 85th minute where Haaland decided just to come into midfield to get the ball? Like, he wanted the ball. Like, he really wanted the ball, Haaland. He got bored. There was a bit where, I've not ended the stream. I'm still here. I think I'm still here. Do you guys, it said it ended for you guys? Sorry if not. But yeah, like, he very much Was bored of not getting any touch. He should have scored though. He did have a chance, to be fair to him. It just never happened. He didn't get his goal today. But when he sort of robbed the defender and put it straight at the keeper. But Bayern, I think, is the obvious choice there. Vinny's having a good season. He got kicked out of the live stream. How weird's that? I'm not sure. I mean, all I'm getting is excellent connection at my end, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Sorry, guys. But yeah, I won't go much longer anyway because it's late at night and got to get the little guy to bed and stuff. But maybe it's the... Do you know what? I've got... Oh, yeah, I think I've got something running, which I'm going to stop. No idea. Anyway, we won it anyway. It's a bit laggy. Sorry, lads. I'm not sure what's causing it. I have no idea. Can you hear me? As long as you can hear me, that's all that matters ultimately. I don't feel that City were great tonight. We were pretty poor, truth be told. But we got the win. I'll leave it there. I'll do 5 things learned tomorrow morning. We'll go through a bit more detail. For now, though, we're through. We'll probably go out the next round. If we get through, miraculously, we've got Atletico or Bayer Leverkusen, so we'll probably go out then as well. But let's see if we take it seriously. Let's see if we go... Let's see if we go and get some signings the next day or two. Who knows? We got aggressive for Cambiasso. Who knows? We get a last-minute loan for Douglas Luiz, something like that. I don't know. We will see. For now, guys, thanks for watching. We're through. Superstar Savinho, thank you so much for being our saviour. Treble charge starts here. Yeah, AJ. I like the way you think. In a bit, bye-bye.